Well, Mohamad Elmasry joins me now on set. He's an Associate Professor of Media and Cultural Studies at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. Thanks very much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. Just to start off, set the scene for us. Where have these protests come from? What's behind them?
Well, in many ways, things have been simmering for some time, for years. I think the protests that we'll see today are the result of pent-up anger that Egyptians have felt for years. But the immediate instigator for these latest rounds of protests has been Mohamad Ali, a former military contractor, an insider who worked with the military for 15 years and who's been releasing videos this month about government corruption. And that has obviously rubbed a lot of Egyptians the wrong way, this news of corruption from Sisi and also from his family.
Okay. Now, we have seen the scale of arrests really shows something of a no-tolerance strategy from Sisi. Do you think this is something he can ride out? Is there an appetite for the protesters to continue going up against this?
Well, this is the most brutal and repressive government in Egypt's modern history. They've killed thousands of people. They've arrested tens of thousands of people, many of them for illegal protests. We have to remember that protesting is illegal in Egypt. So people are quite literally braving or risking their lives by going out into the streets. The government right now is pretty desperate. As you said in your lead-in, they've been shutting down the entrances to major squares. They've shut down certain metro stops. They've canceled football matches. And so they're quite worried. It remains to be seen exactly how many people go out into the streets and to what extent the government can contain these protests.
Now, you said this has been bubbling away for some time. I mean, is there an appetite to return to the scenes that we saw in 2011 and 2013?
Egyptians are very angry. Many Egyptians are very angry. People have been killed, so their family members want justice. Many people are poor. About 60% of Egyptians live in poverty. So people feel a sense of desperation, and apparently, if last week is any indication, people are quite literally, as I said, willing to risk their lives to go out and protest against this regime.
Okay, well, we'll be keeping a close eye on it, but thank you so much, Mohamad Elmasry, for joining us here on Al Jazeera.